All right, guys, so it's Thursday evening out here in the shop. I've got a lot of turbo stuff coming in. So I'm going to try and get a head start on making plenums here. You can see I got my intake manifolds in already. Using one of these gaskets, I got this 1/2-inch plate to do this and throttle body flange. So just use this gasket to trace these out on here. And then I'll be cutting those out, marking for holes, hole sawing them, all that. So what'll end up happening is I'll have two plenums, one on either side right here, but they'll be bolt on. So these flanges will be on there. There'll be a little tube welded to those flanges, and then the plenum welded to that, and with end caps and all that. So that's the plan for that. Obviously, you can see got my wastegate right here from Precision, 49 millimeter. So pretty sweet piece. Gonna be running CO2 on that, so I already got these little nozzles in there, or those little hose barbs. So that's probably the biggest actual component of the turbo system that's came in. Yeah, I haven't told you about the heads yet, so here's the sheet, just kind of so you guys can look at it instead of me just talking and I don't miss anything. So they're the CB's new Street Fighters, I call them. Stainless steel valves, 46, 37.5. Board for 94s, 650s dual springs, so I did not go Chevy springs or anything. I was kind of debating on running something like this versus some Compies with some Chevy springs and bigger valves and all that, but it's just, I've seen guys run stuff similar to this that are busting some numbers, and it's just, I need cooling. It's going to be a street car, so if I can get what I need performance-wise out of these heads and keep it semi-cool, that's perfect. So that's what I ended up going with. Titanium retainers, port match manifolds, fuel injector bosses in there. They've also got these is where I'm going to do the water meth nozzle, so I'll go ahead and grab those. These are the little 90s they give you with the water meth kit. So I just got these for now. These are the actual, nozzles. I forget what exact size they are. I did the math when I bought them, but I can't remember. So I'm going to drill and tap these right here. So if this is the car, you're looking at the back of the car. They're going to be facing back like that, one on each stem of the manifold. First part of the actual process is getting the heads on the car, which we have to do the math for. And I think the CC's worked out to where we don't have to cut them. So with 60 shim, it'll put your deck height where you want it. And then it's like 8.6 to 1 compression, which is, don't want to go any higher than that really for turbo engines in general in this specific one. But I have a ton of parts and a ton of work to do, so let's get to it. All right, guys, so just to give you a little bit of an update. So I got them cut out very roughly. Still have my mark on there, my scribe mark from the gasket. So what I'm doing on the mill over here is just getting perfectly flat machined sides, on all 4 sides. And then I'll take it back over to the belt sander and round the corners off. But this just makes for a lot, nicer, more symmetrical finished product. So I took that other piece of plate and using the throttle body gasket to make up a little flange for that that's going to go on the tube. So it's actually going to be, the T coming out right here. then the flange and the throttle body. So making the flange, I got it milled off pretty close, and then I'm gonna go in and round the corners and match it exactly up. And then what I'm doing now, I've got the throttle body up on the mill. Take you over here. So it had this part where you normally slide a boot on. This throttle body is for like a V6 Mustang, early 2000s. But what I'm doing is machining this all the way down. You can see there's a little bit of a taper right there, and then it flattens out. So I'm taking it down to that line right there, and then taking one of these vibrant clamp halves and welding it on. So this will be down about right there. So this will be welded onto the front of the throttle body, and then from there it'll be clamp, intake pipe, turbo. So That's 55.
So just do.
Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up this video. Made a little bit of a dent in the intake fabrication, so flange is made, plenum's kind of mocked up, they're not tacked together yet, but got the T or the Y up at the top, whatever you want to call it, made. So that's going to be up there like that. You know, made the flange for the throttle body, cut 290s, welded them together, machined off the flange on the throttle body on the front side, and then put the one end of the clamp on there. So that stuff's tacked together. Next step, kind of gonna have to wait till I get my turbo to figure out the angle of this, and then we'll do from here to there. So I'm gonna have to end up doing a little bit of an S on each side with some pie cuts because the cylinders are offset. So like this plenum's gonna be closer this way, this plenum's gonna be more that way. So I'm gonna kind of have to go, you know, S this way and then an S that way. So I'm gonna need to get some pie cuts, and then once I get the turbo in, I'll be able to kind of line all that up. So